What's good, everybody? How y'all doing? It's your boy Anthony here yet again with another message. Now, today's message is actually going to be the last part to the last two videos that I made that were regarding really transforming fear into faith, and then also scarcity thinking versus gratitude frequency, right? So this is actually going to be the last video to those two videos, or like a little series, I guess. And in today's video, shouldn't be too long, but I say that all the time and it tends to go how it goes. But we will be outside today, better lighting, great quality. It feels awesome. The wind is blowing. Man, it's great. It's great to be alive. That's all I have to say. But today's topic is going to be more so like talking about how to move from the mental exhaustion of how this will happen to the quiet confidence of it is already handled. And as I talk about this today, it's pretty interesting that us as human beings can be very frantic when it comes to things that just pop up, or things that we did not calculate, things that came up out of nowhere, and it kind of throws off your whole day, your whole week, your whole month. And we kind of get in this place where we start to worry about, like, how is this going to happen? Like, oh, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna bring out the African American culture. One of the biggest things that they struggle with, that we struggle with, is, oh snap, an unexpected bill came up. Where's the money gonna come from? Oh snap, like, oh man, the toilet broke. Random stuff. Like, oh man, that was unaccounted for. How is this going to happen? How am I going to get this fixed? And that's a big struggle. And other cultures may experience it too. But I'm not around other cultures who actually talk about that stuff. And if they do, they probably keep it hush, hush, quiet, quiet. But I'm going to be the one to say that, like, the black community is a big community that is, oh my gosh, like, how will this happen? It's almost as if we get stuck in the thing that's happening, rather than knowing that, like, hey, it's all going to work out, or it's already handled. Like, me, myself, personally, have been in a lot of binds, in a lot of situations that should not have went the way that they went. But when I looked up, it was already handled. It was already taken care of. And to know that in itself is beautiful. To know that, like, I have a track record with God where even when things look like they were not going to work out, they always did. So hopefully this video is going to help somebody go from the, oh my gosh, how is this going to happen, to the transition of a higher frequency, of a higher thought pattern, of a higher way of living, or way of living of accessing, which would be, it is already taken care of. Now, you may be thinking, how am I going to do that? The simple way to do that is, how this really works is this. It goes back to how you think. What's really happening within you? And if you see me looking down, I got my laptop in front of me because I want to stay on track. What's really happening within you? How are you thinking? Everything that I've been talking about in the past few videos are lining up with a way of thought. The way that we think is going to dictate how our lives go. There's a saying that says that, like, you are, like, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my ship. So, like, a lot of people don't know that fate means that which the gods speak. So a lot of people think that, they actually do think that fate is real. That, oh snap, the gods are speaking this about me, so this has to come about. When really, if you go deeper and deeper into the word fate, you get fatum. If you go deeper, you get fatum or something like that, and you get the word like B-A-H, bah, which means literally just to speak. So you are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your ship. You are the master of where your life goes. So whatever you speak, you're going to get. But you want to know what plays a part in what you speak is how you thinking. What's going on within your internal world that is actually a reflection of your external world. Are you consciously aware of the unconscious thoughts that come up throughout a day-to-day basis? Are you aware of the intrusive thoughts that try to pop up and masquerade as your own thoughts? Are you aware of the things that you're thinking? Because if you are not, they are unconsciously ruling your habits, your nature, your patterns, your will, your emotions, and you don't even know it because you are not consciously aware of what's happening in your subconscious realm. Straight up. So, how does this work? Simply, how are you thinking? What's happening within you? And if you can consciously start to be aware of what's going on in your inner world, you will be surprised the things that you catch popping up, trying to just run across your mind without being noticed. And you'll be like, wait, where did that thought come from? Wait, why am I frustrated? Wait, why does this situation bother me? Is it me that's being bothered, or is this just an unconscious reaction that I've done for so long that it's now just natural? It's now just my new norm. Now, on to the next point. The reason I made that point is because fear and worry will tag team you. When you are in the state of how this will happen, you are going to be embodying fear and worry. And when I say they will tag team you, they will drag you through the mud. You're going to be dragged through the mud mentally. They're going to drag you through the mud spiritually. They're going to drag you through the mud physically. Because if they drag you mentally and spiritually, the physical is going to follow. And yes, these entities will tag team you at any point in time. And they'll do it every time because you are not aware that they are to be ruled over. I'm going to say this. It says, I put most of the things, scenarios, and outcomes that they present, they being fear and worry, aren't even true. Like, this is where you get your casting down of thoughts and vain imaginations in scripture. So most of the stuff that we fear isn't real, and most of the things that we worry about never tend to happen. So what fear and worry do is present false evidence to you for you to actually pour energy into it. And then if you pour enough energy into it and embody that vibration and allow it to keep happening, guess what's going to happen? The thing that they presented to you will in fact become real. It will in fact become your reality. Simply because you attached to an idea, you attached to a suggestion that two entities that play in the same arena presented to you on a platter as if it was real. And because you're not keeping them in check, they can constantly drag you through the mud and tag team you without you ever being able to get a foothold of what's going on. And then you look up and you're wondering, like, how did I get here again? Because you fed into a lie that two entities presented to you called fear and worry. So if you right now are looking at this video and you have a situation going on and you're thinking, how is it going to happen? How is this going to work? How is this going to turn out for my good? You are probably operating in fear and worry. Now, if you're concerned, that is completely understandable. But the moment you step into those two vibrations, those two realities, you're falling into the trap. Because there's another reality that literally says that you can take a hold of that says it's already taken care of. You're already provided for. It's working out for your good. But you have to know that. But I'm going to the next point. Now, this is where this is where being mindful is important. Because if you're not careful, you will allow these two energies or entities ground to manipulate your mode of thought. So when I say you're allowing them ground, you're allowing them spiritual ground. You're allowing them mental ground. And the more territory that they take within your inner being, it's going to be harder for you to become free. It's going to be harder for you to break loose from their influences, because the more ground that they take is like an enemy. If you are fighting up against an enemy and your enemy keeps taking ground, that means you and your team are being pushed back. You're losing ground. You're losing the momentum. And as long as you keep feeding into what fear and worry has to present to you, you're going to keep losing mental ground, spiritual ground, and then you will see it reflect in your physical actual life, and now you're losing physical ground. Hopefully that makes sense for somebody. I know it did, because I'm trying to slow down with my points because we're getting into it. The only way we as a people can be free, we have to be aware of what's going on within us. If you think that things are only physical and that you're only being affected by physical things, you are not. For in Scripture, in the Bible, it says, for one, our weapons of our warfare are not carnal, and then two, for our battles is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers of spiritual entities of wickedness in heavenly high places, and also spiritual leaders who are wicked. So we got a lot that we're fighting against, and it's not people who just profess Christianity. Every person on this planet is battling in it within a realm that they cannot see. But the moment that you allow your eyes to be open and you allow yourself to become aware, you will see more of the influences of the unseen realm actually taking place in the physical, and it actually gets pretty interesting if you are okay with like knowing that you are seeing what you see. Okay? Yes, let's go. Now, the next point. Identifying with their suggestion of thought will drag you into lower frequencies of thought. So if something rubbed you wrong and you just like, forget that person. They talking to me like they crazy. Fam, that's not you. That's not you. Like, oh, so-and-so lied to me, so I'm gonna lie to them. Oh, so-and-so cheated on me, so I'm gonna cheat on them. I'm gonna cheat on the next person I'm with. Oh, my daddy didn't love me, so I'm not gonna be in my children's life. Guys, this is real stuff. I know I gave some interesting examples, but when these lower vibrational entities, fear and worry particularly, present things to you or suggestions, when you take a hold of them, you go into a lower vibration of thought. And then you start to operate on a low vibration. You start to operate with anger. You start to operate with jealousy. You start to operate with lust. You start to operate with envy. You start to operate with hate, because you're operating, you have made yourself accessible to every type of frequency that's on a low vibration. Okay? So anytime you identify with their suggestions, this is where your mental ability is to create. You have the ability to create your own reality, and sometimes you can affect other people. I've seen it happen. I'm not going to act like it's not real. But when you go with these suggestions of fear and worry or any low vibrational entity or energy, your mental ability to create is actually being used against you by you. Because since you're not ruling over those lower frequencies, they're in fact ruling over you. You're supposed to be able to rule over your body. You're supposed to be able to rule over your thoughts. You're supposed to be able to rule over your emotions. You're supposed to be able to rule over any suggestion that's not of your higher self. But because we have not been taught these things, we have indeed actually allowed our lower natures, our lower frequencies, these lower entities, these lower energies to actually be the captain of the ship, when you're supposed to be the one to be the supreme ruler over the things that's within you. Think about it. If you did not know, next point, your mind is powerful. You will either train it to build on your behalf, or you will train it to destroy. Men, women, people on this planet, we have the ability to create and destroy. You want to know why we have the ability to create and destroy? Not only just our lives, but the lives of others? It's because we are a small representation of God in totality. So whoever God is, whatever God is in totality, we are just a piece of that, and we have been given a capacity to be able to do what God does. Now, am I saying that you are the only one? No, I am not. That's blasphemous. What I'm saying is that each one of us collectively are a small piece of who God is. And he made us in his likeness and in his image. And we can do whatever it is that he can do, as long as we come into the knowledge and realize what that is. And I would hope, if you came into that knowledge, that you would want and desire to do the right thing for humanity, so that more people could come into the knowledge of what true love is. More people can come into the knowledge of who God is. More people can come into the knowledge that we are divine beings stuck in a physical body. So, your mind is powerful. You're either going to train it to create for you, or you're going to train it to destroy you or everything else around you. And if you don't consciously be aware of what's happening within you, most of the time, you're going to unconsciously destroy your life and those around you. And we see it time and time again. Now, as long as you are unaware of these forces that are, which cannot be seen, they will use this knowledge against you, effortlessly using your God-given ability against you. And this actually works through the subconscious. If you don't know how to access God, learn how to become conscious of your unconscious or the subconscious. The subconscious is where a lot of things are taking place that we know nothing of. If you want any answer to anything, learn how to tap into your subconscious. That's where our God-given ability actually resides. And your conscious mind is actually a watcher or a gatekeeper for the subconscious. So if you have been in turn allowing false information, false identities, the wrong information within your subconscious for years, guess what your subconscious is doing? It's feeding you back every idea, every emotion, every type of path that is in alignment with that wrong teaching, with that wrong idea, with that wrong belief about yourself, and it is in turn creating your reality because you have not yet become aware that your subconscious and your conscious are supposed to be working together consciously. But a lot of people aren't aware of that. A lot of people don't even know why they get angry when somebody's trying to teach them. A lot of people don't even know why they chasing 5 to 6 different women. A lot of women don't even know why they sleeping with 10 different men. A lot of people don't know why they over here saying they hate their parents, but they lives look just like them. You want to know why? Because there's things going on in the subconscious that they have not acknowledged. There's things that are going on the inside that they have not forgiven. If you don't take a look on the inside, don't be surprised when your life looks like something that you're just trying to figure out why. It's something that's going on in here. It's something that's going on in here. It's something that's going on in here. The inner world that you cannot see is way more powerful than this physical world. So if you want to change your reality, you have to first go within. Jesus said it multiple times, the kingdom of heaven is within. Greater is he that is in me than he who is in the world. Come on, y'all. Come on now. Man, I hope somebody hear me. So how do you make the switch from mental exhaustion to confidence that all is working for you? Easy. And I know I'm saying easy. It really is if you're willing to do the conscious work to realize what's going on within you. That means you are consciously saying, I desire to be responsible for my thoughts, my wills, my emotions, and my actions. I cannot blame anybody else based off what happens in my life. Even if I'm not the one that made it happen, even if it's not my fault, I take full responsibility for how I think, what comes out my mouth, what comes from my being, and my actions, and the things that I didn't even have a hand in. So what this looks like is you have to be willing to consciously rule over your thoughts, your inner world, daily. Daily, man. When I say it's a task, y'all, it is not fun taking rulership and authority over my thoughts, my emotions, how I feel, my next step, consciously. Oh, it's some work. But when I say it's worth it, when you start to realize things that pop up in your mind and you're just like, where did that come from? Wait, what? I don't even believe it. Or you will even start to realize things that you thought you believed that don't even make sense. Why do I believe what I believe? Because I was told to believe it. But when you start to get to know you start to realize the lies start to be dismantled, and only you can cause you to go back into the lie. You can only cause you to go back within the cell. Or you can step out into the truth and realize, hold up, the creator of all things lives within me. I'm not finna let no other person on this planet try to bound me to nothing else because of what they were bound to. So, back to it. You have to be willing to consciously rule over your thoughts, your inner world daily. Can't nobody else think for you anymore. That's where we've been. That's where we are. Everybody wants everybody else to think for them. That's why we got governors. That's why we have mayors. That's why we have presidents. That's why you got cops out here who corrupt. Because everybody wants somebody to rule over them because they don't want the responsibility of ruling over themselves. Because it's a task. But Jesus did it. And he's let us know multiple times and came to remind us y'all can do it too. If I did it, you can do it too. You just got to be willing to. Just saying. Also, you have to deny, negate, and transform all lower thoughts and action into higher thoughts and actions. That'll be a task, but once you learn how to do it, it's a wrap. I'm not going to say it's going to be a cakewalk every time just because you get it down. No, it's going to be times that you slip and fall. But you know how to change one thing into another thing. You know how to change dirt into a man. You know how to turn lead into gold. You know how to transform ashes to beauty. Come on. But you have to be willing to make a conscious effort. Also, to end this, you must be willing, biggest thing, to know thyself. You have to be willing to get to know who you are. Not who people telling you, not who everybody's going to tell you you are through Islam, through Muslim, through Chinese, whatever. Not through Christianity. Stop allowing everybody else to tell you who you are based off what somebody else told them. You have to be willing to get to know you. And when you get to know you, when you read stuff, you'll see where God is. You'll see where he's talking. You'll see where he's not. You'll see where that was clearly a man. I love how all these cars keep passing by, because somebody need to hear this. Clearly that was a man talking. Like, because that just don't add, that don't sound like God at all. You will know. Because the more that you get to know you, you will get to know you by knowing he that is within you. And he will help you come to the realization what was man talking and what was him talking. Real talk. And that might seem hard to want to, that might seem like a lot, because a lot of people that's probably watching this have been indoctrinated through religion, through Christianity, through Islam, through Muslim, through whatever doctrine that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation, from one man to another man to another man to another man, and they all saying it's the divine word of God. The one thing that they can agree on is there is a God. The other thing that they can't agree on is whose one is the right one. Got them divided and split. That's how the enemy works. Divide and conquer. But yet, the God of all things, the God of all creation, wants all of us to come into the realization that we all have him within us. If you come into the knowledge, you do. If you don't, he's not holding it against you. It's your choice. But he would rather you come into the knowledge so that you can actually step into your God-given rights, your God-given abilities, your God-given authority. We are in the world, not of it. Know thyself. Nobody else can tell you who you are. But when you look at others and when they look at you, sometimes they can give you a piece of the puzzle. But you have to be willing to do the work. But that's all that I have to say, guys. This went way longer than what I thought it was. I thought I was going to go fast. It is what it is. But hopefully this helps somebody. And if you have not had a chance, y'all, like, share, subscribe. Be sure to hit that like button so this can go out to more people that it's supposed to. I'm not in charge of who it goes to. I'm just going to make the videos. I'm going to come and talk. I'm going to come and speak. And it's up to God to who it reaches and who it's for. But until next time, y'all have a great and blessed day. Peace out. And I love y'all.
Don't tell your dreams to everybody around. Some people smile, but wanna see you down. Keep it quiet, don't make a sound. Let your success be what shakes the ground.